Hi everyone, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for joining us for today's session. I'm joined by two really special guests with me, Ryan and Dillon from Team Metal Leviathan. Thank you, Ryan and Dillon, for being with us.
Hello. Great to be here.
Very exciting.
So my name's Matt. I am the events officer here at the AIE, and my role here is to essentially speak to all sorts of people, mostly prospective students, people looking at getting into the games and film and visual effects industry. And today we're going to be taking a really good look at two of our wonderful students who have almost finished with us, actually, or pretty much finished last week of AIE this week, and taking a look at their major project in the game that they've designed. So without further ado, I might pass over to Ryan to introduce himself a little bit more formally.
Yes. So my name's Ryan. I'm the only programmer for Metal Leviathan, Team Metal Leviathan. I'm programmed everything on the project, more or less, yeah.
Awesome. Dillon?
Cool. Hello, I'm Dillon. I'm the team lead and lead designer for Metal Leviathan, and I help wrangle everyone up and make this fantastic game.
Awesome. So let's start off by, I guess the first question that I want to ask is, what really inspired the game Metal Leviathan? Where did the idea come from? As well as maybe talk about who made it, essentially, like how many people?
Cool. Yeah. So we had 7 of us. We had 4 designers. We had Ryan, the programmer, and 2 artists as well. So we had myself, Tyson Reid, Braythn Green, and Matt Liddiard as the designers. We had Ryan Horwood as the programmer, and we had Remy Bycroft and Lucinda. I can't remember Lucinda Knight. Lucinda Knight as the
artists.
Yeah. They did a fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the main design idea came from actually an amalgamation of like 3 or 4 people's ideas, because we had a couple of pitches, and then we sort of thought, hey, like we like this part of this game, we like this part of this game. What if we like talk to the teachers and mash them together and come up with something completely different? And then that's where it came from. We had some
bits and pieces just borrowed from like everyone's perspectives, had a discussion, like, hey, cherry pick what's like what really works and like combine it all together in some sort of like idea melting pot, and definitely put us on track for Metal Leviathan.
Yeah. And you developed this in your second year of your AIE course. And it was, we call it here the major project. Can one of you just maybe speak to like what is major project for you?
Major project. Well, of course, as a programmer, my course is quite different. But for a major project, I'd say for a second year, it's the penultimate goal, right? Everyone comes together, like all teams, like you got your designers, artists, programmers, all disciplines, they all come together, and the objective is to just build the best game you possibly can. We take everyone's skill sets and just try and make something amazing out of the 2 years you spent at AIE. And that's how I saw it, to be honest. I saw it as like a great opportunity to just go like, hey, yeah, let's make something amazing and really just try to really just get something awesome going, you know?
Yeah. A lot of the same as well. Like we learned a lot over the last like year and a half that we've been doing it, because major goes for 3 months, but a little bit longer as well because we have proof of concept. But it was just sort of like just a massive push to get the coolest stuff that we can make out, and just sort of tie everything up.
Yeah, fantastic. And so let's talk about it more specifically in regards to roles. So Dillon, we'll start with you, but what was your role within the project? And you've talked about you're a designer, so what is a designer's role?
Yeah, cool. So what I did was, like, alongside with my other designers as well, we'd go through and find, we'd think about like what systems we might need, like the enemy mechanics. We'd figure out like how the player is going to move, what kind of other unique mechanics as well we've got in the game as well. So looking at the different mech parts, we design the systems for those, that, you know, making different systems unique. So the different mech weapons, you know, having them shoot differently, how fast, how slow, like what kind of extra bonuses are they going to have. The same thing as well with the enemies. And then as well, looking at like the design of the map, making sure the maps flow, making sure the levels feel really nice and cool. And then as well as like we had different designers as well. So we had like a narrative and sound designer, which is great. So they worked on a lot of the stuff to do with like how the narrative flowed, and it was really cool seeing him work on a really cool AI system. AI voice system, which was really cool. So that brought a really cool color of life to it. So yeah, doing a lot of stuff like that, as well as holding lots of scrums to keep everyone up to date, because I did do team lead as well.
Yep.
And just sort of keeping the project in scope and reworking things as we came through. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, fantastic. And Ryan, what about yourself with programming?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, the solo programmer, for me, it was mainly just bringing everyone's vision to life. What you see in the game, everything that's happening is a result of programmatic work going into it and making it all work. Yeah, so essentially, mostly the designers come to me and I'm like, hey, yeah, we got this idea, we want to get something going, we need this to happen. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll program that in. And my major ethos was to make the designer's life as easy as possible by creating tools, tool sets to work with. And this allowed designers to just tweak parameters and just change things however they want in the engine without having to look at a line of code. Because I really wanted to emphasize it's a teamwork experience, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to make the tools necessary to achieve the goals that the designers wanted to achieve. And just work with everyone. I'm always there, just discussing what's viable, what's not, what we can't do, just making sure everything works out.
Yeah, and if I'd never heard of programming before, when you say that everything you see in the video game is a result of like programming work or programmatic work, like let's say that I'm a designer and I said, hey, I want we can see some images behind you, behind us as well. This is images of the game. So if I said that I've got a new little enemy type that I want, like a little soldier comes and tries to shoot you, what does it mean to be like, oh, I can program that in? What does that look like?
So in that particular instance of like an enemy, what I would have had done or did have done is the the enemy AI behavior. So you have like the base script that handles all kinds of different AI based necessities. In this case, we use Unity game engine, so prefabs, and the prefabs are like presets that hold all this information for different types of enemies. You've got like a shooting enemy, a melee enemy, different types of like that. And yeah, so I make this script which is enemy AI behavior, and it has like a bunch of just parameters and stuff where designers can tweak like attack range, attack speed, movement speed, parameters, flanking parameters, shot lead, fire rate, just
everything.
A whole load of. There's a lot of stuff. Just that kind of, and that's just enemy AI. There's so much more to it as well.
Yeah. And then does it kind of go back to you, Dillon, on the designer's end in terms of like figuring out, well, all right, how much health, how much damage, how much, basically, like, I guess in a way, like balancing the video game? And is that, I've always thought that that's a lot more tricky than meets the eye. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. We were really lucky to have Ryan as our programmer, because the tools that he made from what we described and designed, he did such a fantastic job. So he made our job a lot easier.
Yeah.
But it's still, even in saying that, it's still a really tough task to sort of sit there and be able to balance, like, enemy type A with enemy type B with weapon type A and hull type B and stuff. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of number crunching. We went through like a lot of iterations. We did some big full reworks as well of the enemy system and AI pathing and stuff. But because of that, we ended up with a fantastic game. But yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah. There's a lot of variables.
Yeah. All right. I think it would be fantastic if we've talked about the game a little. What about we have a bit of a look at the actual game itself? So, Dillon, I believe you've got it up on your computer. If you want to screen share, and we can actually have a look at Dillon playing the game to give everyone a bit more of a understanding of just how much work and how much is actually in it. It's
quite a lot. Cool. So we have Metal Leviathan. Again, as you can see, Ryan's done a lot of programming, lots and lots of extra juice and polish on it. Lots of cool stuff. Like we've got the mouse tracking, we've got the rotation script, we've got the drop down script as well. It's been a load of fun to work with Ryan to get a lot of this polish and cool stuff in. Yeah. So we'll go into a new game, and we'll clear everything off, and then we'll start at the prologue.
Cool. Let's go for it.
Of course.
You
Excellent.
clicked yes to skip it, didn't you?
I did. I did.
Yeah.
We will start at the
Oh, you
prologue.
can still do it.
Move your torso to point your weapon system. And when
a
you're
little
ready,
robot.
Let's see if we have movement by heading towards that distress beacon.
Yeah. So as you can hear there, that's what I was mentioning before about our sound designer doing a fantastic job getting some cool AI sound, and actually working with Ryan, who did all the music for the game as well, which was absolutely spectacular. It will get stuck in your head.
Yeah.
It's still stuck in our heads to
Yeah,
this day.
it
You
is,
didn't get
yeah.
sick of it at all, which was really fun.
Blessing or a curse, you decide.
But yeah, we have this little mech guy. You move around with WASD, and then we'll slowly unlock stuff as we go through.
A perfect time to test your weapons. Clear the way so we can keep moving forward.
So we started the player off with some cool flamethrowers, and then we have loads and loads of destructible environment because that was a lot of the feedback we got from people. And we just sort of went, well, let's go Michael Bay, let's go with it.
Hostiles are coming.
I just want to destroy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Stop yourself from being
Yeah,
trapped.
for sure. And then we have our first little types of enemies, which we've got the nosy guys.
The closer
So
we get to the
these
distress
guys
beacon,
were so much fun to design, and our artist Remy did a fantastic job doing this. In designing. They're really unique. They kind of look like these little weird, skinny armadillo boys. They're very cool. So they
And you
hit
can
you.
see, like they do this like running around pattern. It's part of like the AI behavior, like a whole like flanking kind of dip in, dip out kind of
Yeah.
Pathing
pack
behavior.
mentality.
yeah. That
Yeah.
was fun to program.
And I take it they're not attacking you right now purposely because it's a tutorial, right? That's the yeah. So it's
We have sustained some damage. Pick up that repair kit so I
Okay.
can conduct some repairs for you while you continue to fight.
Yeah. So again, we have health packs as well to pick up to sort of, again, that talks about the balance before having sort of, losing a bit of health, and then we can sort of add more enemies in because we can heal the player through.
Has been left behind
Yeah.
by an enemy. Picking up a sufficient amount of energy orbs will
I'm going to ask a question that you can answer either now or if you've got off the top of your
Yeah.
head or a little bit later. But what was each of your favorite moment about the entire production in terms of like the game itself?
That's a hard question, man.
Ooh.
That's a hard question.
Yeah, throwing a curveball there.
Yeah.
So, favorite moment in the production of the game. For me, I'd say honestly, designing the mech itself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the mech
Yeah.
itself, to be honest. Like the actual, what I really like about the mech is if you can see, the actual guns also do a bit of aiming. There's like a bit of dynamics to that. So programming, designing the actual
Yeah.
behavior, the player's behavior is really fun.
This looks really polished.
Yeah. That's probably one thing that was a lot of fun, was also going through and doing a lot of polishing and like tidying things up, making
Juice.
like really cool. Yeah, Juice was really fun.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of really enjoyed making a lot of the enemies, to be honest. Like going and working with the artist Remy, she did a great job in making them really unique, and giving them like a lot of different appearances of like a mash of stuff, and like going with like the animal stuff and then going into like the mechanical stuff too. It was really, really cool to see.
Yeah,
It was really fun
nailed
to work
the
with.
whole cyber aesthetic. It was really good.
Yeah, so here as well we have different strong againsts and knockbacks and things, and then we also have other stats here for the hulls and the legs too. So
Yeah. So you customize as you complete missions. I'd imagine you get a resource. Is it gold?
no, you just straight up unlock them. We had a discussion about doing that, and we sort of thought, no, it's more fun doing this, and then sort of being able to push into different spots as well. It just kind of felt a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more fun, a little bit less resourcey management with that, and just more sort of get in and just blow stuff up and have fun.
Yeah.
So here as well, you can see on the right side, we'll unlock different things. So we've got the overheat hull, the tracks, and then a flamethrower if you go through the hard path. So each level as well has an easy and a hard path, and you got to find the hard path to go and beat the hard path.
Yeah. And we've talked about your favorite parts. What was the biggest challenge that each of you faced during major production?
For me, probably doing it online was a challenge because like everyone else has got different work times and work schedules, which kind of made it a little tricky. But as you can tell, we all came together really well. So it was kind of like a blessing and a curse because like, working different times could be tricky, but like putting in the effort to make sure that we're all there, like it turned out to be a wicked project and loads of fun.
Yeah, personally, I'd say probably what went through a lot of like a refactoring and iterations was like, I guess the systems required for level design. A lot of like mission management, objectives, checkpoints, interactables. That caused a bit of a headache here and there. Definitely got around to getting it working. It works great in these levels, but yeah, required a lot of working for the designers, ironing out a lot of stuff. As I've mentioned before, went through a lot of changes and iterations, but I'd say that was the most challenging part. Still enjoyable though, but yeah, definitely challenging.
Yeah. And just having a look at some of the mechanics here. So you've now got you've got both arms equipped with the gun.
Yep.
Ditched the flamethrower.
Yeah. So at the very start of it, what happens is the story goes that you actually have to evacuate your mech. And then what we do is, like, at the start of it in the prologue, we show the player the coolest stuff we think, and then that way aims for them to give something like it. We give them something cool to view to then aim to work towards it and be like, hey, I want to be that bad and strong again, which is really cool. So yeah, we sort of start you again with a new mech. So you've just got a little you get a little Gatling gun and a really cool autocannons.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have different hulls and legs again.
And then you had a shield that came up, and it looked like it was a dash and shield.
Yes.
Yeah.
We sort of found that most people sort of had a bit of a hard time at the start, sort of getting used to the mechanics of it. So we popped in the dash and the shield, so then that way you can have a bit of saving grace when you're dashing around and playing the game.
Yeah.
Because like I definitely need it myself. If you see in the bottom left, my health is very low.
Yeah, the crack screen and all that. You definitely.
Does it give an invulnerable frame when you dash as well?
Yeah. So the whole time that you actually have the dash bubble active, you're actually not taking any damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then even in instances like this as well, Ryan implemented a checkpoint system, so you don't have to go all the way back to start again too. So
thank God.
Yeah.
I cannot understand why gamers do hardcore mode. I really don't understand it. The idea of losing all your work you've done makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
Well.
Can you imagine deleting your major project work and being like, hey, let's start again?
Oh jeez.
That would not
the gamer experience I'm looking for. That's for sure.
That's why I see hardcore. But yeah, okay, cool. So how many guns kind of total do you have in the game then, and how many mechanics did you have to implement, Ryan?
Ooh, yeah. So there's 4 guns. You've got the Gatling gun, autocannon, flamethrower, rocket pod, 3 hulls and 3 leg types, and they're all interchangeable because the core pillar of the game was, hey, you want your mech to be customizable. You choose your loadout, as you saw in the Armoury before, go in with your weapons and have fun. So yeah, like you can mix and match the parts that I mentioned, and it was, as I mentioned before, my favorite part was making the player mech. It was great fun getting all these ideas implemented. Designers came to me like, hey, we want this. We think this was pretty cool. Can we do it? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. And there you go. You can see it. This, the legs give you that dash and a bubble. The hull was like a big old EMP blast. I don't know if Dillon showed that yet.
Yeah.
And then you got the Gatling gun, autocannon. Pretty base. Yeah, pretty bog standard starter equipment.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the blast was done previously, and it's what's around me right now, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the second one for sure. Yeah, it's the overheat one, which I'll unlock after this level.
Yeah.
This first one's an EMP one, which stuns all enemies in the area for about 7 seconds, I think it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, designers had the entire tools there to just tweak all the values down to the molecular level.
Yeah. Who's the game targeted at in terms of like what age group, what player type, etc.?
Oh no. Definitely at people who like a challenging experience, because we actually have a level difficulty as well. So we have 4 stages of difficulty. So people who definitely like a challenge, definitely arcade twin stick shooters, definitely.
People who just like action games, action arcadey shooty games, top down shooters, all ages to be honest, all ages.
because that was one thing that we did get, was a lot of feedback from people sort of saying, hey, we really like this game, it looks really cool, but we don't really play these kinds of games, we'd love to give it a go. And that's what sort of pushed us in the direction to be able to be like, all right, cool, let's talk
now
to
we need
Ryan.
like a difficulty system, which was really cool to implement. Just values that designers tweak, and then scales the entire game's difficulty based on the difficulty option, which is really cool to implement.
Mission failed.
Shouldn't have put it on veteran mode.
This is veteran difficulty, isn't it?
This is
There
There you go,
showcase
showcase
of,
of difficulty right there.
Yeah.
This is a showcase of how the game works, not exactly how to play the game.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, so talking and playing on veteran might be a bit more difficult to do.
Yeah. So what was when you two both went through this major production, what was the biggest like learning lesson for you? What was
biggest learning lesson? I'd say a learning lesson, I'd say probably, in my opinion, documentation keeping, trying to keep up with documentation, keeping it up to date throughout the progress of the project, because a lot did change midway through. And I felt like documentation, keeping that up to date, GDD, TDD, technical documentation, game design document, learning experience for that, I'd say applies.
I think I kind of touched on it a little bit before, like time management with people's time frames and working in a team online was definitely a learning experience. It was a load of fun though. And again, same as Ryan, like just like keeping those TDDs and documentation up to date, for sure was definitely a learning experience, having so many people, because like as us designers, we didn't have too many chances to work in a big group with artists and stuff. So once we got them in, and again working with programmers, like keeping all of everyone's documentation together was definitely a learning experience.
Yeah. And how hard is it to talk and play this game at the same time?
Yep, I'm definitely concentrating quite a lot. 100%.
Yeah, cool. All right, so there were kind of some of the lessons you learned during major production. I would love to ask you two about your biggest pieces of advice for young designers, programmers, or just developers in general. So if you were kind of talking to someone who doesn't have anywhere near the technical skill, hasn't done like a real heavy course with it yet, but looking to get into these sorts of areas, what would be your, I guess, key knowledge,
wisdom to part on.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I was like words on that, and I was like,
honestly, in my opinion, know what you want to get into first of all, because starting off, it's a bit vague when you're an ambitious developer trying to figure out, what do I want to do? I want to design games, I want to be an artist, a programmer, I'm not sure. Definitely try and figure out what you want to do, and then maintain your passion. This is a passionate thing. Love what you can do. Love what you create. Be proud of what you can create. All right, and just stay consistent. Consistency is key, because at the end of the day, you get what you put in. Like you get what you put in, and if you truly love what you do, you can do anything. Absolutely. Yeah. In my case, I have done game development for a long time personally, about 10 years, and I just love it so much, and I just kept going. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have ups and downs here and there, but just keep going, stay strong. You'll absolutely make it, without a doubt. I truly believe.
Yeah, I think for me, because I came into this course with not even knowing the difference between Unity and Unreal, for me, a lot of it was like, ask your teachers questions. If you can, if you come in and do the course, 100% ask questions. Always be asking questions. Always try and be doing stuff on the side too. Yep. And yeah, like
develop
jump in with both feet. Yeah, just jump in with both feet and just have a crack. There's loads of YouTube tutorials on there, on the internet, that is great. And yeah, just start.
There's plenty of resources. Just get in there, just give it a go. learn. The best way to learn is by doing, and part of learning is failing. You will fail at times. It gets tough, it gets hard, but that's all part of the learning experience. You get better. Think of it like an RPG, right? You'll gain experience, and as you gain experience, you level up. It's inevitable. And do game jams. You've heard of Ludum Dare. Just search up game jams on itch.io. Join team members, friends, if you have any friends who are interested in game dev. Just work on your own little projects here and there. Learn game engine. Definitely learn a game engine. Don't try and make a game engine on your own. Do not do that. unless you're a prodigy programmer. I recommend just picking out a game engine, Godot, Unity, Unreal Engine, Game Maker, whatever you want. Just get in there, start making stuff, learn. Just give it a go. Honestly, it's the best way. Hands on.
Yeah, be hands on. Yeah, awesome. And what's next for Team Metal Leviathan? Are you going to look to progress the development of this game, or is this just going to be a nice portfolio piece? What's the next step for you?
It would be cool to see Metal Leviathan go further as a game, but like I sort of mentioned, a lot of us have sort of got other jobs and other commitments and stuff, which is really cool. It's really cool to see. So at the moment, it's just been a really, really fun project to work on.
Yep.
More than likely just the portfolio piece, but
very good portfolio piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely could potentially come back around. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, the project is there. It's not going anywhere. Anything can happen with it, but now definitely just a great showcase of what we could offer as a team, as Team Metal Leviathan, as a portfolio piece.
Yeah, cool. And there are some other fabulous people who have contributed to this game, as we've mentioned previously. If anyone wanted to kind of reach out to you, where can we find you?
I'll let you go first, Dillon. Oh, you want me to go first? All right, reach out to me. Okay, so start off first. I'm on LinkedIn, just Ryan Horwood, RyanHorwod on LinkedIn. And my actual website is ryanhorwod.info. And that's my website. I recommend going there because you can see the best I have to offer. My website, and just look at my projects, look at stuff I've been working on, and I'll be showing off some content of my own little game that I've spent a while working on, and it'd be cool to start showing that off as well. So my website's a great place for that.
Can you give us a little tiny little teaser? What's the game about?
Okay, all right. So I've been budding to do this. All right, so I've spent a little bit on that last 2 years working on a little bit of like an RPG roguelike, multiplayer RPG roguelike game, Wizards of Guns, called Spellfire and Gunsmoke. Think of like Enter the Gungeon, but step much higher, taken a lot further, for very much like an RPG experience. Big emphasis on multiplayer. And Wizards of Guns, spellcasting, guns, all that kind of stuff. And I'd expect to see Spellfire and Gunsmoke soon, to be honest. Starting to put it out into the limelight. A great way to see it is on my website.
Yeah, fantastic. And Dillon, for yourself?
Myself, I am on LinkedIn. So just Dillon Giannini on the search in for LinkedIn. So it's GIANNINI. And then you can just look at my portfolio as well at DillonGiannini.com.
Awesome. And is there a place that people can go to maybe download and have a bit of a play of Metal Leviathan?
100%. It's on itch.io. I can definitely put the link in chat somewhere later on, for sure. It's on. I think it's on mine. My itch.
Yeah, it's on yours.
I think it's Dillon-G at itch.io.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for playing today, guys, and showing us this awesome game. So I will give everyone a little bit of a sneak peek into, or not a sneak peek, sorry, but I'll give everyone a little bit of an insight. I actually saw this game when they were doing a second year showcase. I think this was like even maybe pre-beta. I think maybe like alpha around that time. And at that point, they had all these ideas, and they were telling us all like, "Yeah, we're going to implement this and this and this and this." And I was sitting back being like, "Oh, this is."
that was a common reception. Like, "Oh, can they do it? Can they do it?"
And so to see this honestly come together as well polished as it is, I think is one of the most absolutely like impressive things I've seen in a long while. So honestly, really fantastic job to both of you and your terrific team as well. The game looks great. Yeah, very well polished, and I can't wait to go play.
Yeah, thanks very much. We wouldn't have been able to do it without a team. Like we had a fantastic team. We had a lot of ups and downs with the online stuff, like with timeframes, with people being available, but like they were so good. It's a shame that they couldn't be here, like, because there's so much more stuff we'd love to explain for all the stuff that they've done. Like, it's been such a great experience, and we're really lucky to have such a great team. We couldn't have done it without them. There's no way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, everyone. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about game development or visual effects or even filmmaking, aie.edu.au is the website. But honestly, we always recommend just get in touch with us. We have a huge range of students, such as Dillon, such as Ryan. We've also got a fabulous training cohort, so trainers who have worked in industry who are happy to speak to you and give you guidance, give you advice on where to get started, no matter where you are at your journey, whether we've got courses for ages 12 and up all the way through to 35, 45, 55, doesn't matter what age. That's one thing beautiful about the games industry and creative industries. Age doesn't matter. So if you have a passion for games, that's what we want to see. So reach out to us. And for now, thank you so much, guys, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
Cheers.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.